Women and men usually leave relationships a little bit differently. And I want to have a conversation about, women on this post. Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones. I'm a licensed therapist. A lot of times when women aren't happy in a relationship, they know. They know like way in the beginning, and what they'll try to do is they'll become very performative, and so they'll go through the motions, they'll stick it out, whether it's kids or we're married and I don't want to, upset my parents or whatever the case may be. There's a litany of reasons. Usually kids and family are the top two reasons. And then, also weaved into that maybe, well, let me just stick it out and try and see and make sure there's not something that's wrong with me emotionally. Am I wrong for wanting to leave this relationship? So there's kind of like they're trying to you sort of vet their emotions out and see if they're based in reality, if they're a good person for wanting to leave. But emotionally, women know that when you just, and this is this general speaking, this isn't, I understand there's exceptions. So so this isn't every woman, but just generally speaking, over the years, this is what I've learned about women. And so, generally speaking, what they will do is they will continue to stay in the relationship, and they'll go through the motions of, still continuing to be intimate, still continuing to, do the things around the house and the family obligations, the wife or girlfriend or fiance obligations. They'll still go through the motions of doing those things, and so they're performing those actions when emotionally they're getting more and more distant. And a lot of women, again, not everybody, but a lot of women will go to therapy to try to, suss this out. Like, what am I doing? And so a woman may feel like she wants to leave you 10 years ahead of time, 5 years ahead of time, a year ahead of time. And she's already started sort of, you know, mentally keeping the score of like how you disrespected, how you've lied, how you've cheated, or how you have just been nasty and mean, or some other, or how you've been irresponsible, how you haven't shown up for her, or how she's a single parent despite being married. All these little infractions are sort of adding up mentally. And so unfortunately, for many women, they will gather up all these things, and they may spend years sort of gathering up all these things before they actually, take off, right? And so that's how women are, emotionally. They start to, withdraw. They start to disconnect, disengage. They may even still have sex with you, but ultimately, they're going to most likely withdraw from that in many cases. Like, once women start really losing respect for you, and again, this may be a silent, unspoken thing. You may have done something and said something, and she stayed in it, but again, mentally, she's lost respect for you. She doesn't like you very much, and so that may show up. I don't want to have sex with him. I don't even want him to touch me. Him or her, swap the roles wherever necessary. I don't want him to touch me, and I don't like him. I don't feel safe with him. I shut down. I'm compliant, or I'm kind of complacent, but I'm not happy here. And they may bring these problems up. Hey, can you fix this? Hey, can we talk about that? Let's counsel this. Let's counsel that. Let's go to see a professional. And no, if you say no, or even if you try to, if you don't stick with it, again, that goes on that mental scorecard, right? And then ultimately, there is going to be, and it might not even be a big one, but one day there's going to come a day when there's a straw that breaks the camel's back, and she doesn't care anymore. And unfortunately, for many women, there's many rocks and things that have piled on her back before she's walked away, but usually in most cases when there's a straw like that, she is done. And they may even try to be performative and say, okay, well, especially if you beg and say, let's work on it, but mentally she already knows that she's gone. And when she's gone, there's such a sigh of relief. It's like, oh my God, I'm out of there. I'm done with him. And once she gets that first taste of peace and she gets over that hump of like being alone, like getting adjusted to being alone, but she gets that first taste of peace with that cold pillow on her bed, is having her bed to herself, having her home to herself, and not having to put up with BS. Many women do not want to go back to that, and have their peace and their sanity disrupted for any reason. And so that's kind of short and dirty. And again, there can be some exceptions and other things, but like women take a long time to detach physically, even though they've let go of you emotionally. And that's the thing. Women can secretly hate you and still stand by your side, just to have the image of the family, just until the kids graduate high school, just until, so they kind of have these benchmarkers. They can have benchmarkers in their mind, like, I'm going to get through this, that, and the other thing, but I don't really like this person. So, just my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Thanks so much.